How do I do?
What's cracking, everybody? Welcome. This is Podcast with the Pirates, episode 2. Tonight, we got 3 special guests and a whole different pirate here with you. We have Silverbeard, we have Eirror in the house tonight, we have Pentsy, we have the legendary Ubbo 42. So, everybody, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tony?
Hi, I'm Silverbeard. I'm truck driver of the group. Kind of the roughneck around.
What do you do at the Alberta Bound Pirates?
Everything.
While the show is up and running.
When the show is up and running, I'm usually
before, during, and after.
I run around and I check on people, make sure everything's going, any needs are met, if there's any issues. Make sure, there's nothing going on behind the scenes that shouldn't be going.
He's the guy you go to when you need shit done.
Nice helping.
What's up, everybody? My name's Tyler Pentland. Pentsy. Pentsy is my artist name. Been DJing for years here now. Was out in Canmore and then Banff for a little bit there. I'm back in Calgary now. I've been throwing and promoting shows for probably good 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah, all about drum and bass, baby.
Drum and bass for the win. We're definitely going to be talking. Get into the podcast.
So there's that Andy C video, and he comes out of a helicopter, and he just goes, "Drum and bass, mate." And I just, that's the quote I always have in my head. Drum and bass, mate.
I've always got the one from Human Traffic.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
I have that track is by Aphrodite. It's called Stalker, and of course, I've got it on vinyl. One of my favorite
That's
records.
banging, yo. That's banging.
He's the vinyl king. Then we got Eirror.
Eirror, tell us about
Yes.
yourself.
I don't know if
please.
this mic is working. Hopefully it is.
How's it
I
working?
am I think I'm the only hardstyle person in the Pirates right now, which is interesting. Been doing this a few years. I'm a co-founder of Meltdown Collective here in Calgary. We put on hardstyle, hard techno shows because there's not really any of that happening here.
Nice.
Yeah, so far we've done a few. We've got one coming up, which is very exciting. We've been bringing artists from Edmonton, from little towns outside of Calgary.
Yep, nice.
Fantastic. It's always about bringing people together, right?
Solo love.
All stop. Hi, I'm Jason Kazubo. My artist name's Ubbo 42. I've been playing Calgary parties for the last 20 some odd years. Was one of the original ravers in Calgary back to 93, back to probably 1990 would have been the first party I went to. Was just a person at the parties for years. But it was about 20 years ago I started getting serious, working at Quincy's, Soda, etc., etc. I play drum and bass. I also play psytrance, and also just techno. Not any style, just dance music. I'm a prodigious vinyl collector, which is where my passion comes from for the music. Anything on vinyl, I love it.
Vinyl's it's a whole different ball game for sure. It's where it all started, and you got to give respect.
Oh yeah,
Roots of this whole thing, right?
I can attest to that. I'm living with Jay right now, and he's got records on records on records. It's a physical collection.
That sounds
Try
like it would be
moving it.
amazing to see.
Well, that's how it forms is the DJ
I don't
booth.
know you. I'm not current.
Instead of walls, we have records.
There's that meme that says, yeah, DJing vinyl is like if you like things that are really expensive and complicated and fragile, basically. And it's true, right? Because like moving them around in the different temperatures and shit, and a lot of risk to your vinyl itself,
Me and Tyler were discussing this earlier. When I go to my studio, I have the choice of digital or vinyl. And 9 times out of 10, I go to the records, and I don't know what that is. And when I come over, who are part of the scene, just play on the digital equipment, and then I bring out the turntables. Tables bring in a different.
Yeah, for sure.
A whole different sound altogether.
It's very old school. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys call it old school, but yeah.
To me, that's just school.
That's what founded the industry, you know. Like for us older guys, that's what founded the whole industry right there, you know.
Well, it comes out of the marginalized people. In Detroit and New York in the late 60s, early 70s with the Paradise Garage and Lenny Levan, and it was black gay culture. This whole dance music thing came out of in disco.
Well, you
and then,
Punk, for example.
Yeah, and then you have the Caribbean
the 70s.
influences, which comes into jungle. I could start off on this, but I think that's. Do we have another question?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely going to dig more into drum and bass, and that's because I know that all of us are fucking drum and bass.
Yeah.
It's always a good conversation to get into, but I definitely want to talk about. You guys have any notable events or memories over the last year or so, whether it's from the Pirates events or otherwise? Like, what do you remember that really stood out, and tell us why?
The last pirate show that I played, I wasn't able to go to the last one because I did my grandpa's 90th birthday. Shout out Ray Karski. So I missed the last one, which apparently had the best turnout, which would have been awesome.
Oh, it was
nuts.
Yeah, that's the one that I missed.
It was absolutely unforgettable.
But I remember thinking the opposite, where I was walking through like kind of the festival grounds, really is what it was, and I was like, "This is a professional done festival." I'm like,
yeah.
and I just wish there was more people here to enjoy it, and then that's what ended up happening at the last one in McLean Creek.
At the Enderbender, yeah.
But it was like I was going from stage to stage, and there's fairy lights along the way, and I was was like, man, this is legit. Like I'm proud to be a part of this. Like
it was a fun summer, that's for sure. I mean,
it's funny. I'm coming from the opposite view. I've had to work chasing summer and the big corporate parties through my work.
Yeah.
And being there and seeing what I've seen, I'd much prefer to come out to the Alberta Mountain Pirates and play those because there's art, and it's done out of our own pockets.
Sure, and grassroots love, really. Yeah. And again, like, you see all these artists, like, see your local friends coming up in the scene, and like, we're all kind of helping each other out. We climb the ladder together. So
yeah, that was the other thing when people were coming on and being like, "This is a song that I made. This is a song," and like,
yeah,
I remember kind of having that same feeling too, where it's like everybody, like you get to, not just you playing like alone in your basement or for your two friends. It's like you're like sharing your art and like leveling up to the point where now you can make a career out of it. Like I think that's probably all of our goals, where it's like you don't have to do a job and then do music. Like your job is music now. Like,
it's a good go.
The big difference with this compared to like chasing some or even something big like DEFCON 1 is it is 100% about the community, because like we're not being paid to be here. We are here because we want to be here.
Well, that's it. I mean,
and we want to be a part of this community. We don't care about the
tell
money,
you
because there isn't money happening, which is totally
that's
fine.
the truth,
No,
for
yeah,
sure, right?
no, it's
You do it out of a labor of love, and I mean, if we can start to make it sustainable, that's kind of our goal, right? I mean, we're crowdfunding our next event, right? So once we hit that goal, then we'll drop a location and a time for the party, right? But doing free party after free party after free party is great and all. Don't get me wrong, it's good networking, but it's not sustainable to do that forever.
And it's definitely hard because because of the laws of the land that we throw these events on.
No,
that's the Calgary After Hours bylaw. How I love these. Thank you, Chris Kerr.
Well, even just the fact that you aren't allowed to technically make profit off of events thrown on Crown land.
Yeah, no, that's a real kink in the.
There's always ways around it, of course, right? I mean, it's, call them loopholes if you will, or call it just following the law, right? But like you can sell your merch there, right? Like, here, we're selling stickers or whatever, t-shirts, what have you. That's fine, but you can't like block off an area because it's public land, right? So I mean, that's fair enough where you can't block it off. Technically, you're not supposed to be selling tickets. I've heard of people having problems in the past for doing so. So you kind of got to be careful. Like
That's
even the
for
Rangers told us, they were like, look, some guys tried to do this up in Ypres or whatever, and like basically, we shut them down because it was like they were blocking off a road. They had a gate set up, and they were like, you can't come in here. And they came down on them for that because you can't do that. But they don't give a fuck what we're doing out there because we're not
when we work on
blocking
the
anything off.
donation.
Yeah,
We're
we're
doing our
following
thing, and
rules.
everyone can come in, right?
Yeah.
All inclusive. So they don't really care. Like you're allowed to do no noise bylaws out there. You can fire guns and run your machinery, chainsaws, big trucks, whatever.
Yeah.
We
right?
want we
That's
we
honestly
hope that
something
you
that's
don't.
super unique.
You're right.
And
Yeah.
honestly, something super unique about the Pirates fence as well is you've got this very interesting blend of ravers and redneck shit happening. So you've
I
got,
love that.
You've got the rave people doing their thing, and then you've got like the guns and the trucks and the mud. And we'll be sitting there at our little camps, and these Albertan people speaking their own Albertan lingo. We have no idea what they're saying, and they're just tagging each other out to drive their truck sideways into this trench.
Yeah, you're like, damn. Half of us are kind of
Having a laugh.
rednecks.
Shout out to Stelly Stellarson too, because he came up with the best way to phrase that. He told me the one day in message, he's like, "Man, you guys have the perfect blend of wookery and redneckery," and I'm all for it. I'm like, "Fucking right, yeah." And it's so true, right? It's so true for sure. So I mean, kind of touching on that, like Jake and part of his crew as well were some of the people that, but they're not the only people that I've said, and I'm sure you guys can also attest to this. But how, if at all, has being involved with the Pirates helped your career? Because I know being involved with everybody that we're working with is obviously helping us. Like I said, we all climbed the ladder together. But what impacts have the Pirates made on your career so far?
It's given me a lot more opportunity to like practice playing in front of people, because before I started playing with the Pirates, I hadn't really gotten a lot of bookings, and so playing with the Pirates gives me a lot of time to practice playing in front of people. I get to make a lot of connections with people that I haven't met before. It's been a really great time.
Yeah, I threw a lot of shows, in Banff and Canmore, so I kind of had my kind of connections and scene there, and so it's good now that I'm back in Calgary, meeting Calgary people and like having. It's just it's like inspiring as well, just coming out and doing it, like just meeting like-minded people and seeing other people. You're like, okay, I can do this. Like we can do this. Sometimes being an artist feels like a pipe dream, but like
That and also
this is like physical reality. It's like we're doing this. Like Haley's done such a good job of putting together such a good like event and show, and like everything's proper.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's just some like ring ding operation. Like there's there's medical, there's bathrooms. Like this is like it's done really well, and it makes you feel like okay, I can do things really well as well.
It makes me want to do my best because of the heart that people like you, Kaylee, and
Thank you, guys. That means a lot.
all the people, Darren and Karen, are a big part of it too.
100%. Yep.
And then all the mountain parts. So I'm not really playing for other people other than the Mountain Pirates right now. I'm already planning for the May long of material and what I want to play and who I want to play it for. It's been great. It's been great to connect with other DJs. I'm in a bubble, an internet bubble. I sit in my house. I talk to people in England. I talk to people in LA. Blah blah blah. But in Calgary, I'm like, it's hard to make your way as an artist. And Kaylee and Darren, all the crew have given me exposure.
and
I
it's
can have
so
I can
important.
have #1 mixes on Mixcloud and good numbers on YouTube, etc. But to go play for the actual people, that's what being part of. That's what Mountain Pirates has done for me. It's good for my exposure. And now I have people that I don't even know coming up to me saying, "Oh, I saw your set, blah blah blah. When's something new coming out?" It keeps me going.
That's awesome to hear. It's like I said, the Edmonton-based society was quite stoked. They're like, "Man, you've done so much for our career." I'm talking Jaden, Alex, and
Yeah.
Deli, and their crew.
Yeah.
And they're always coming out. They're always supporting. It's a hell of a long drive. I mean, honestly,
Oh, I
about
can
half
imagine,
of the
yeah.
people that we see at our shows are from either Edmonton or Lethbridge,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty
Red
cool
Deer.
because we're the Alberta Mountain Pirates. We're not the
Yeah.
Calgary Mountain
Yeah,
Pirates.
yeah,
We're not
yeah.
like we're it's
You
all
just all happen to
inclusive.
be
You
in
know?
Calgary,
Exactly.
but
Yeah,
And it's good to have exposure in those places because
100%.
that's who my music's for. My music's for Alberta kids who are of we don't fit in. We're not LGBTQ, trans, whatever you are, whatever you're putting forth.
We're the misfits of Canada.
We're the kids that don't
We're the
fit in.
misfits of
Mountain
Canada.
And as somebody said, oh, they're not welcome at all their festivals. No, we went and did our own festival, which is what I like about you, Haley, and the whole Alberta Mountain Pirates thing. And everybody's involved in those parties I've been out to, is that you guys have done your own thing. It's not other I'm not going to name other events. It's your own thing.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not
We're not
competing.
competing. That's totally
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could kind of
yeah.
we don't give a fuck what other people are doing. We're
Yeah.
doing our thing regardless, and if you want to come, cool. If not, hey, we're still doing the thing. You know.
when you say like
Edmonton,
Edmonton,
they're
Edmonton
not-
is like
yeah.
the you said Alberta Mountain Pirates. Like the coolest part about it is that you're mobile.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you can't go to Edmonton or Lethbridge or
Yeah.
like you were at Cochrane the other night doing a friggin'
Yeah,
Christmas
exactly.
festival.
And that's a good point. Yeah, we did a Cochrane Lights, and that went super well. It was super fun. We got to play for a bunch
Showing
of
up the idea there,
uninitiated.
for
You know.
some people, it might be easier to like maybe throw a fucking do a setup in like Bearberry area where it's a little easier for people to get into, it's a little more open,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Versus trying to beat the shit out of your vehicle trying to come into McLean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for
definitely
sure.
like
Right?
the
So
first
there's
time
been a
going.
suggestion out there, as something to go with in the future possibilities.
That first festival that I went to was the May Long. It's such a legendary festival. I know the official name of it was like the birthday bash. Everyone calls it Mud and Bass. I think that's the perfect name
Mud and
for it,
bass.
because
That's
that
the
is
first time I heard that
exactly
one.
what it was. It was mud and bass. It
And then
was
snow.
and yeah,
Not May Long without
notorious May
snow.
Long weekend, right?
Yeah.
It was such a great time. But getting into there was so difficult.
It
Yeah,
can
I
be for
remember
sure,
that,
for
yeah.
sure. One thing I like about, like I said, we are doing that Cochrane Lights thing last night. Chris had actually said something that I think is hilarious and awesome. He was basically like, we're out here with the Alberta Mountain Pirates, and basically like snow, sun, rain, shine, cold, warm, doesn't matter. They'll be
Literally
there.
anywhere.
That's why he brought us in. He's like, yeah, you said you like doing outdoor shows in the winter. I wanted to test your word on that. Basically,
Test
I'm
your
like,
resolve.
you know we're there. Let's
I
fucking
did
go.
say I like doing outdoor shows in winter.
It was a chill.
We definitely did, and we
Yeah,
definitely.
you guys
did. I mean,
rock it.
for
You
sure,
guys,
like,
It
you
was a
guys
chill. It
rocked
was
it
a chill.
yesterday.
I
like-
saw the videos. It was amazing.
Yeah,
It looked-
as
I wish I could have been there.
you guys were doing your thing, I was seeing on my Facebook the different posts from
nice. Yeah.
Mike and all the other pirates
Yeah.
of the show going on, and I was thinking about saying to Tyler, let's drive out, but I'm glad you guys had a good response from the city. How was the response of the public?
Awesome.
Pretty
Actually,
good.
when I was dealing with, because I was out there personally dealing with a lot of the public, dealing with the parking,
Yeah,
families, having
yeah.
a few decals out and stuff. They were actually quite impressed to see it. They liked it. They're like, why weren't you guys over in the main party? And all like, well, testing the waters here. They brought us in, set us up, so we're giving a see, see how it goes.
Good.
But even the kids, they like seeing the pirate ship sitting there. We're all just sitting
Yeah,
right there,
yeah.
all lit up, and then the music going, right? Everybody was having. We saw a lot of people getting up there, dancing, having fun, and it was a great old time. A lot of people came in there because of the pirate ship with their kids just to see it.
There's a
Yeah,
pirate
probably
ship at
something-
Christmas.
it's probably something that a lot of
That's
people have never
Heck
seen
no.
So I mean, we were supposed to be kind of on the other side where like a lot of the main event was happening, where most of the people were. But the first plaza, they were having some issues when, as soon as the lawyers heard about it, they were like, no, insurance and blah blah blah. You guys might draw too much of a crowd or whatever issues they had. And then the other lot, a couple of the businesses didn't agree, so it was kind of they had to be unanimous, or we weren't going to do it in that lot either. Even though a couple of the people who run the lot are into electronic music, they couldn't override, everybody.
Shout out
It
to
was
House of Cars.
unanimous, like I said. But yeah,
Shout out to House of Cars.
Yeah, House of
Cochrane,
Cars.
for sure.
Yeah.
Good to
Because
support
they
you
let us
guys.
set up there, and yeah, it was across the tracks and about a block away. But
Everybody knew we were
there were a bunch of people parking. There had to be 60, 70, maybe more cars in that lot
One more,
by the end of the night.
Yeah.
It was pretty packed before we started leaving. And we weren't blasting at full volume either. Like, we were going pretty good, right? But we're not trying to be dicks too at the same time. They had other events going on and stuff as well. So, but people could hear us, and we were definitely making a bit of noise. And
tell you what, it took me from being a Grinch at Christmas and kind of gave me the Christmas spirit again. Here, and some of that awesome, cool remix Christmas music versus the old school fucking shoot me in the head shit.
Yeah, for sure. We were playing a mix of everything from metal to house to techno to drum and bass to trap.
Well, as
dubstep,
DJs, we have to have a selection other than the harder forms of music. I think we this is one of the things.
It is very important to have like more palatable versions.
Well, no, the thing is,
what
you had to put a lot of consideration into what you're mixing and how you do it, because it's got to be very kid and family friendly. And of all places, Cochrane. Cochrane's known for a lot of Karens, right? So so now you got to really put your time and thought into that, right?
Yeah, maybe it's not the best idea to drop like a song about just railing ketamine.
Yeah, no, we put the one in there. All I want for Christmas, my nigger, or something.
Oh my god!
They come over from us. Sorry. But no, it was in the song, so don't even get mad at me for that. Right? And Nick come over from house cars. Hey, guys, please, maybe not play that one tonight. No, that was an accident. That's not being played.
No, we just had it played on the autoplay or whatever. There's a couple dirty ones on there, whatever. But it's a Little John song or whatever.
I guess that takes out like 90% of my catalog, man.
Right? It was definitely hard to.
No, it's also going back to the Mountain Pirates. I really enjoy playing on the sound system.
Yeah,
in plural. And you guys, I play jungle techno 24/7 at home. It's just in the background, and it's really fun to go out there and hear what the songs actually sound like that you hear in your headphones. And because I'm part of a group that produces, big shout outs to Fedge No and Crew Run XLR, which Tyler's sort of coming into as part of now, and Fedge No out in Revelstoke. It's nice to be able to hear the music that we're being produced in my group on an actual sound system. It's been a great journey last summer. I should have come out years ago.
Right? No, for sure. No, it's been amazing for sure.
You literally have been inviting me since day one, and I feel bad, and I apologize for not coming out. But I'm not a camping guy, right? So.
Oh, for sure, I get it, and it's just funny because I've known you since like early days. And seeing when I was 18, we started going to Sal's together, and we were hanging out.
Oh man, I'm talking about the starting of my career. Right?
Yeah, exactly, right. No, and same for me, right. That's kind of where it all started, right. I went to Shambhala when I was 16, and then boom, all of a sudden going to bars when I'm 18, and you already know a bunch of people, so you feel natural there. It wasn't like a big transition or whatever, right? But real quick, I want to address this. We got a couple people in the chat. Shout out. K1 Lish, Killshot. Okay, right on. And then we got Dado, we got Kirk in the chat. And Kirk wants to hear us Dado wants to hear some Christmas bangers. So I just wanted to let you know we'll be uploading some mixes that we did play last night. This was a good time for sure.
Yeah, no, there's some cool mixes.
Yeah, it is nice getting some like drum bass.
Did we get a recording of that one song accidentally playing on autoplay?
There's a Technomatic one that's kind of. I'm trying to think of what it is. There's Christmas drum bass.
Some hard techno
Christmas jump up, man.
Remix of Angel What's Happening. Is it appropriate at this time?
I found like a ridiculous amount of Christmas hardstyle music. It's I need to
because we need Christmas to be bearable.
Right? No, for sure, 100%.
I can't listen to Mariah Carey and other. They're already playing Christmas music in every fucking store.
I don't even listen to radio stations.
If I have to listen to All I Want for Christmas one more time, I'm gonna shoot myself.
All I want for Christmas is my 3 front teeth. No.
So let's talk, guys. I want each of you to tell me a little bit about who or what inspires you and why you do what you do and how you find the drive to do. I'd also like to touch on how you deal with blocks. So run down about your whole.
Somebody else start, please.
I've always been like I don't know, this one my one buddy introduced me to AC/DC and like junior high, and since then I was just like went from AC/DC to Metallica to Gojira, like heavy metal, and then I found electronic music, and it was like, oh, like music can sound like this. Like the first time I heard like a fat bass line, it was Bass Nectar. I was in my buddy's car. We had just we just worked out. It was like right out of high school, and we used to get bacon. We used to go work out and then go get baconators. 50 grams of fat, 55 grams of protein. And we were smoking weed in his car outside of this gas station. I still remember it. And you put on Bass Nectar, and it was to me EDM was always just like boots and cats and boots, you know, like it was just like. And then I was like, what? Like I heard a fat bass line. I was like, music can sound like this. And then I went to Shambhala, and then I remember seeing shirts that said like Dub Sucks and like Run TV, different things. And I was like, I didn't really know what. I just liked the music. And then I went to Shambhala, came back, and then I discovered what the difference between dubstep and drum and bass was. And I was like, oh, I like drum and bass. Like it was Nero that was playing. I didn't know who it was at the time at the Village. And I remember just like this music, and I was just like having the best time. And then I was like, oh, because I heard Bass Nectar and stuff. I was more into like dubstep. And then I found out what drum and bass was, and I was like, I like this. And then it was like, then the whole kind of where it just hasn't stopped since then. It was like Sub Focus and DJ Fresh and Nero and Jason Status and all that. Like that was kind of the like a beginning, Andy C and all that just like brought me into it. And then now it's just like, probably, I don't know, 15, 20, who knows how long it's been. But and then I kind of started opening up to house after that, because it's kind of like you're saying, you can't play bangers all the time. It's like I've always been into like funk and different stuff and that, and yeah, so it's like instead of the beginning, I'm like all about drum and bass, where it's like I can play and I do play other stuff, but if I was alone in a room, I'd be playing D&B.
100%. I just don't stop with the D. So many subgenres of D.
Yeah, it's
Goes on forever. Like it's one of the most, in my opinion, diverse genres that exist. D&B for every mood, every style, you know.
Yeah.
It keeps going and going all the time.
You get like lyrical content as well, like if you like rap or if you like sing, if you like female vocals, where it's like people will show me some
vocal to drop, right?
But it's like people show me these rap songs, and I'm like, how's about this rap song? And it's just like some like sick ass like UK like
right?
Yeah, like the UK lyricism and sound, like I just as opposed to this mumble rap where I'm like, I don't know, I just don't understand it.
It's definitely more
It's just
listenable.
yeah, just so much to it that it's
so much more listenable.
you could even listen to halftime if you don't want it to go that fast.
Well, drum and bass started. First track was I Am E in 1993. Came out of London. That's the first, by what the internet tells me, the first drum and bass track back in the day. To the latest drum and bass bangers coming out today. That's a 34-year envelope.
Yep.
That's most of the people who I'm playing for's lives.
Yeah.
That's the soundtrack of our lives.
Yeah.
I live in the inner city. I don't leave the inner city. Drum and bass is the noise going on city around me. Done to me, it made into music. Like listening to Goldie's Inner City Life. Seminal track, if you haven't heard it, off of
Metalheads.
Yeah, Metalheads. 101 for drum and bass. But that going from industrial noisy stuff to beautiful lyrical flow of Liquid, etc., etc.
But back when I was started, there wasn't really a difference in the different genres of the music when it first, like even back in the rave bar or whatever, that rave house that we had back on 17th back years ago in Calgary. Right? There wasn't really a genre of different types of rave music. It was just fucking rave music.
I don't remember playing that place, but I probably played it back in the day or was there.
But you know
are you old enough to remember Soul Tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's come a long ways, because like really when it first started, there wasn't really different genres. It was
that wasn't until about 2000 that really Yeah,
I mean,
because
like-
the parties in the early 90s.
Like we were talking earlier with Chris Shepard's Pirate Radio
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, guys coming out of nowhere, just coming up with his mixes, like even back, Armin van Buuren and David Guetta, these guys coming out of nowhere, getting picked up and just all of a sudden making a name for themselves. That's when things really started taking a change in the industry, I found personally. But I mean, back then when it was first coming out in the 90s, there wasn't no really different genres. It was what it is. Some people were a little harder than others, some were a little softer, right? But there wasn't really individual genres back then.
I mean, I think the genres were probably still a thing. It was just access to information made it hard to kind of define it, right? And if you weren't like involved in it, it was probably like,
Yeah.
you just don't really know.
There's a decisive line in that timeline: pre-internet, post-internet.
Yeah,
Back in the-
because it's like
yeah.
people are just kind of making music, and then it started getting categorized.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
all right, we need to be able to.
You were just back in the early days of raving. You were just happy to go hear techno on a loud system.
Yeah.
You were just, oh my God, it's a techno
Yeah.
record. He's gonna play it.
But then once that starts becoming more and more
And now-
commonplace,
and now
you have
for
to be able to
YouTube,
be like,
yeah,
okay, I
be
like
able
this
to
specific type of
categorize it.
techno, like
Yeah.
Like
it's
when I
called drum bass.
Right? Yeah, I like that.
when I was a
100%.
kid, I was growing up when the internet was in its infancy, right? When it was
Really?
It's
Well,
the
I
wee
know
lad.
The song, that's where
internet.
guys, let Eirror have the mic.
When I
please.
was growing up, YouTube was like brand new, right? And for me, everything was trance. Everything electronic music was trance.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And then I heard
that's
like
just
bass
what I
music.
knew of it. That's anything electronic that I hear, I just thought of it. It is trance music, and I would find these songs along my way exploring YouTube as like a 6-year-old, right? And then I stumbled upon like chat rooms and stuff as you get older. And I remember
Uh-oh.
when I was
6-year-old in the chat room. I don't like where this is going.
yeah, it was a time. It was a time. But when I was a teenager, I was hanging out in like IMDb chat rooms, right?
Yeah.
A lot of rave themed chat rooms, and I heard these like very interesting songs, and so I googled rave music, and that's how I discovered jump style, and that's how I discovered hard style, and then after that, I was just hooked on that.
Yeah,
And
it's
then-
kind of it's like your life had changed after that point. It was kind
Yeah,
of it's like
exactly. Like core memory.
yeah,
And that
exactly.
movie,
That's when
core
when I
memory.
discovered what it's the same thing. It was like,
Finding
oh,
jump
this is
style
what this is. I
in
love
IMDb
this.
chat
I'm gonna keep doing this for the rest of my life.
Pretty much, yeah. And then over the years, I discovered more different kinds of music, like trance, synthwave, drum and bass,
Yeah.
techno.
And then it just never ends, right? It's an endless, and with everything
And you just
changing, like
find new stuff
genres are meaning
all
less and
the
less,
time.
right? It's
Yeah.
kind of all blending, and you can hear a lot of influences. Like I'm hearing jungle influences in some
Yeah.
dubstep tracks. They got like a amen break or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Well, even, like,
sweet,
D&B
it's
and
cool how
house.
it's changing
Well,
shit
even
up.
just like
Jason
the changes
Status, Stormzy,
hot stuff.
Yeah.
what's his name, Skrillex. Like Skrillex got Flowdan a Grammy Award. Flowdan is now a Grammy Award-winning drum and bass MC.
Banging, he deserves it.
Yeah.
He's sweet.
Rumble is the track of last year, and that the Coachella show. If you haven't seen the footage of Fortec and Skrillex at Coachella, oh my God, they're playing an in the round PK. It's actual PK sound. Shout outs to Jarrett.
Yeah.
So I think it's PK sound, but it was an in the round
I'll have to probably,
stage to the
360,
Coachella
Yeah.
ravers.
we'll have to probably check
Yeah,
that video
look it
out
up on
later
that, yeah.
ourselves then.
Look it up on YouTube, Skrillex.
That video he's
at
talking about.
Coachella, yeah.
We'll have to
I
probably
think you're
check that out.
covering your mic with your.
We'll probably have to check that YouTube out later.
I swear though, back in the day, the DJs used to make up their the name of their style in the car on the way to the
Probably.
Oh, I'm gonna play tech bass house tonight.
Gee, like
This
I
is
wonder
booty
how much
house.
thought went into the name for hard style. Like
Yeah.
very hard.
What style is it?
Hard.
I'm to my generation.
Even like raw style. What raw?
You know what hardcore is like? You're like a Dutch hardcore. Yeah. The 90s.
I guess
to
they
play
spent
happy
so much
hardcore at
energy.
parties.
I'm guessing they spent so much energy on the sound design, they just ran out when it came to the name. It's just like
That's so funny. It's so true.
hardstyle. Sure. That's what we'll call
But
it.
hardstyle's just hardcore evolved with that.
Well,
Hardcore was made on machines back in the day because they couldn't do any better.
You know what's funny is
we
that
took a lot of influence from Dutch hardcore and
Yeah,
gabber,
with
and they just kind of put those two things together,
and
and that's what they made.
Via Frankie DeWolf, right?
what you were saying there reminded me the first actual like electronic song that I heard was Scooter. It's like yeah, I'm always hardcore, and that was the first like electronic song. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty sick. Like I was always into like rock and metal and everything, and then on this one road trip I heard that song and I was like, okay, Scooter.
Back in the
Scooter,
day.
what a name!
And then one song about being a sniper. I'm a sniper on the rooftops.
Hey, I wouldn't mind their record deal.
So kind of speaking of all these genres and how things are getting categorized and changed and stuff, like a lot of people got the whole jungle drum and bass thing confused, right? A lot of people think jungle's a subgenre of drum and bass, but it's actually the other way around, right? Jungle's the king, jungle came first, and then drum and bass kind of came out of that.
Yeah.
I can give the definitive answer on this, I think. So back in the day, jungle, which was very black UK music in Brixton and London, was becoming very popular. And the record companies, hate to say it, mainly white audience in England, and we are Caucasians. The record companies thought that jungle was too black of a name, and so they came out with the drum and bass, and it sort of gentrified.
Huh. That does make sense. Because it is kind of like, it's like, really? We're going to be calling it
And again, with the very creative is drum and bass. There we go.
Because jungle, but jungle still to this day is
That's actually kind of hilarious.
It's associated. It's a gangster thing, right? Like
Yeah.
And I was kind of
That's
touching on this in the
interesting.
last podcast we did, but I had this toy when I was a kid, like a little controller, and it's what I thought a DJ controller should be, or what it is nowadays, right? It's way before DJ controllers. Yeah, right. No, but it had like buttons on it and whatever, and you could like mix loops or whatever into other loops,
Oh, like
It
one
was
of those
pretty
little
neat.
pad things.
Yeah. It looked like a controller, and I'm like, I thought you could mix music with it, but there just wasn't a thing. It wasn't technology back then, right? I was a kid, but
yeah, there was.
well, maybe there was, but
It's just a boy.
Early 70s, the first crossfader, going back to a DJ I mentioned before, club in New York called the Paradise Garage. The DJ there, Lenny Levan, was one of the first innovators with actually mixing music with crossfader.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, whatever this was, it was I forgot where I was going with this. Okay, it was a pretty cool toy, and that's actually what got me into this stuff really early on, right? But oh yeah, that's what we were saying about the drum and bass, how it got gentrified, and that had a lot of drum and bass on it, and I was like, well, I don't really know drum and bass, I don't really understand it, but it always came across to me as like a black influenced genre, which is kind of interesting that you say that. 'Cause
It comes out of reggae and ska.
Yeah.
for sure.
And dub, which is not, I'm not talking dubstep, I'm
Yeah.
talking
Reggae, dub reggae.
Lee Scratch Perry,
Yeah.
King Tubby, people, artists like that, which came out of sound system culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jamaicans and the Wall of Sound, which
Yeah.
is why I love these boys, right? That's what I'm going after. I'm not really interested in rave culture as a part. I'm interested in sound system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out is JDK and Darren and Karen.
Rave to the grave
Yeah,
stage.
yeah, Rave to the Grave.
Dogs.
Yeah,
Good stage.
yourself, Kaylee. It's fun to go play these systems because I like to make it boom.
And it is cool to hear your shit on different systems side by side like that. It's pretty neat to do that.
It was so much fun playing techno on the Saturday night at the last party. those records. Some of those those records have been sitting in collections since the '90s, and that's
to
gonna
dust them
kind
off.
yeah. It was fun.
That's the thing. We're open format. Like, like generally we're drum and bass heads. Generally our primetime slots are filled with drum and bass because that's, what most of us are like hooked on or whatever, obviously. But we play
Sometimes get the
everything,
odd trance
like,
snuck in there. I like it.
yeah, style trance, whatever, house of all
And
different
shout
kinds,
yeah, the
dubstep,
house
like
heads and Jeremy and
experimental stuff.
I'm so bad with the
Rusty's fucking
Rusty
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
are the names of the drum and bass of the house girls? What are those wonderful
We
ladies?
got Larissa, we got DJ Danny,
Jeremy's Jeremy.
the
Operator.
operator, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got Kale. He throws down Nappy. They throw down some really good house,
yeah,
4 on the floor stuff.
I
for
hope
sure.
their show went well last night.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't had a chance to talk to them because
Yeah.
we're up late unloading and all that stuff. But
And we were all snowed in. I should have made an appearance down
Talk
at
about Snowden.
there's
the
that
Ryan
too.
Ruckus show. Yeah.
We got a ton of snow. I do want to give a shout out to the JDK guys and Nappy there yesterday for offering to put our merch on the merch table there while we were incapacitated with our own job out in Cochrane. So that's pretty sweet. I'm hoping people got some new Mountain Pirate swagger for sure.
That's gonna be that's gonna be fun next year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Let's talk about speaking of next year, and I mean just kind of what we've been doing. Let's talk about if you guys have ever faced significant challenges in your career and how you overcame them, and what advice you would give to anyone facing similar challenges.
Oh, when hasn't this been a challenge?
Face
When
it head
has it
on
been a
and get over
challenge?
the fear and just do it. What's the worst you do is you mess up and you learn now. Okay, well I can't do that again. Let's go do it this way and see what happens. You can never let anything stop you. If this is what you want to do, then do it. That's everything in the career, man.
The big challenge is like obviously getting gigs and like playing out for people, and then my biggest way to like overcome it was, like I said, when I was in Banff and Canmore, I felt like out of Calgary, it just always seemed like other people were doing it and it wasn't me. And then I moved to a small town, and there was another local walla crew, and they kind of were playing electronic music, but they're more down tempo stuff, and I'm like, nobody else is playing drum bass out here, and then I'm like, why don't I do it? And then I just started walking up to the bars and managers and being like, hey, I want a DJ here. Like, I'm bass. And I kind of started putting together a resume, and I had different shows come up. And then once you start doing it, now
It just kind of compound.
now you're like, okay, I play this, now you're like DJ. You're not like, holy shit, I've never like wanted to do it. Like, and you get experience and you keep going, and it's like, I still do struggle with that. Like now, even back in Calgary, I've kind of been looking out for things, but I need to get back on that. Just go do it. It's like you're saying. It's like, I get gigs, I can go get gigs.
Yeah. Nobody's stopping you but you, right? Step outside your box and just do it.
Yeah, and like I've got another buddy who met at the Mountain Pirates. He does saxophone over drum and bass, like jazz. They do like coffee shops, daytime events at coffee shops, and so it's like, yeah, just kind of, I don't know, just keeping on it, I guess, is. But it's a constant struggle.
And as someone with
Sure is.
social anxiety,
That's exactly that's the struggle that I can speak of. Yeah.
Social anxiety. I don't like people to have that.
Yeah.
because it is so much more difficult.
And just putting yourself up there, and as an artist, and just in your own brain sometimes, like I tend to just get so like
Get
wrapped
really
up in it,
in
and then
your
you're
own,
like, you pay more attention to the art than the actual sharing of the art. Then it's just all right. I made 30 mixes, and I'm the one that's heard them. Like, what are we doing here? You know?
One thing that is just, I don't know how to describe it. It's very intriguing because so I've spent a lot of time building these connections, meeting all of these people, and then all of a sudden, all at once, everything is starting to fall together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's almost overwhelming because you're like, wow, what? Where did this all come from?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it goes spiral goes both ways. Got to keep it on the upper swing.
At this time last year, I was like, I still have no idea how I'm going to get any gigs for anything. Now, in 2 months, I'm going to be playing at Palace for the first time.
Sick.
Nice.
Fucking awesome.
Good.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Congrats, it's banging for sure.
And it's drum and bass.
Yeah.
What?
Sweet, man. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
What's all about? But you, Jay, any major challenges you face?
Depression and loss.
Yeah.
I'm in my personal life. It's sometimes hard to keep direction. But the music. I actually, this is part of getting out of myself and my head. Is coming and doing things like this and the Mountain Pirates. It's a good outlet for me. Mental illness, drug abuse. It's alcohol abuse. It's all challenges. Reach out to your friends. Go to a meeting. Nothing wrong with taking 12 steps.
There's nothing you shouldn't be ashamed of.
Yeah.
We did touch on that in the last episode as well, episode 1 of podcast with the Pirates. We went into a little bit about the challenges and the dark sides of the scene. There definitely is a dark side to it. You know, a lot of people lose control and a lot of people take things too far.
And a
and
lot of it gets
you end up in a-
glamorized too.
A lot of people, which sorry?
Yeah.
It gets glamorized a
It
lot
does.
too.
It does to a point, but I mean, it's always been glamorized in media, right? You know, it's not something new. I wouldn't say, but let's see. Now I got off track. It's okay though. It's okay. Happens.
You say the dark side.
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah,
dark
yeah, yeah.
side.
So we were just touching on it, and it's not something a lot of people want to talk about, but it's something that should be mentioned more. I mean, it's part of the whole harm reduction
It's
side
really
of things, and
important to talk about.
you
that
end up,
stuff.
at a certain point when you have signs that say "Don't rape," like at Shambhala, which is kind of like, shit. What does the scene become? You know what I mean?
But it's prevalent in all cultures. Go to Big Valley Jamboree. You want to see a
Oh, for
messy
sure,
part?
it's probably worse.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
messy
somebody
party,
probably
right?
trying to be like
Yeah.
People gotta know they can't be
proactive
afraid
about
to
it.
speak
Kind of,
up.
it's your.
What you're saying is that
Just be like, well, it's like there's a sign that says "eat food." I mean, those people do need to see those fucking signs. It's like drink one.
People gotta be.
Apparently, it's not as easy for some as it is
People
for.
can't be afraid to be speaking up though, and if there's something's happening to them, because they should be able to speak up and not be judged by it, right? So
100%.
As an elder in the scene, call a relative or a parent, somebody you trust. Something's not right going on around you. Reach out to somebody who you trust. Go to a 12-step meeting. People are out there. We only have a finite amount of time left, all of us. So reach out. And none of us should live our lives ashamed.
And it's really important to be a good support for the people in your life who are trying to get sober or get better.
It's disabilities aren't just physical. A lot of us are healing from broken lives.
Yes, and a lot of people in this scene have gone through trauma or have mental illness of some sort. A lot
I
of
think
people are
everybody
on
in the world
spectrum
has.
in this scene. A lot of the people in this scene are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Fully.
It's kind of like what Tool said in that one song. If you don't like drugs or whatever, take out all your records and burn them, basically, because you got to be kind of
Bill
weird
Hicks.
to make a lot of this art sometimes, even
And a
movies.
lot of the people who make the greatest music are
Jimi Hendrix.
high balls.
Or the
Yeah.
Beatles in that
Yeah.
case, you know what I mean?
I'm going to mention this. Safe supply.
Yeah, 100%.
Get yourself tested, or get your
Get test kits. Do your due diligence as best
You
you
should
can.
get yourself tested too.
Yeah, get yourself tested.
Don't play.
I understand the test kits are available through Shoppers Pharmacies and through the Alex Ups downtown for that big nasty big brother of the drugs that some of us do.
And it's really shameful that a lot of festivals don't allow you to bring the testing kit.
But a lot of them sell it at the same time. They have them available at a vendor, so.
Yeah. Harm reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, before we are off course here, but the tests aren't always 100% reliable. There is false positives and false negatives, and there is also, the mass spectrometers, which everybody thinks that is the answer, is the be all and all, that everyone swears by. They're not always accurate too. We've seen several instances of when you know for sure it's not right, and yet the mass spec is saying it is right, and maybe one of the reagent test is saying it's wrong, but another one's saying it is right, and it's like you're getting really confusing results. So
Or
Obviously,
buy through a safe supply like Delic or BMO.
yeah, for sure, we don't want to be plugging anybody
Don't be buying from like
you know.
random people at the festival, maybe.
Yeah, you know, do your due diligence for
And
sure.
it's not necessarily that they're trying to get you hooked on fentanyl by lacing your shit, but like maybe they don't know that it's even in
Yeah,
there.
it's usually ignorance first.
Yeah, it's and sometimes you make mistakes in the chain.
All right.
100%. So let's talk a little bit about with the way the world's going. What are your thoughts on the integration of AI and machine learning in electronic music? Is it beneficial, or is it slowly going to kill everything, including our jobs as DJs and producers?
Well, I honestly don't think it's going to have much an effect on us because from what I have seen, a lot of the AI music it falls so flat.
Right now,
There's nothing of substance in it.
not yet.
But what he's saying is, can it? Maybe there is a wall that since it's a computer, will it always lack that something that is?
Yeah.
That's what a
That's
human
not gonna have that
what
burden,
makes
right?
it. And I think there is also like for the live aspect, nobody's gonna want to go like I don't know. Maybe they have a robot that's like dancing up. It'd be like novel. Look at this robot.
But eventually, people aren't gonna care much anymore.
It'd be like something. Oh, this is
It's like
novelty.
nobody
Yeah.
cares about
But it wouldn't be like something that you actually care about. Like
Or like
I don't really think that robots are gonna steal it. Like I don't know.
or like when
There's always something about a live
I think
performance
they're
from a
only
human.
good for the
I
laser and light
think
show
I
part of
agree
it,
with
keeping
that.
up, but
yeah, or even like when AI art first came out, everyone was like super amazed with it. Everyone was playing around with it. But now, like it's been around for a couple of years, and you can so easily tell when a piece of art is made with it.
Be surprised.
Yeah.
I've seen some really convincing videos that even being into AI myself and making a lot of these generations and stuff and understanding what it looks like, it's hard for me to tell sometimes now.
I
I
will.
find it
Definitely
later.
depends
Say,
on
ah,
like
wow,
what
okay, makes
people are
sense. But
using.
Not related to the music, but I'll just watch YouTube videos, and then I've noticed that there's a lot more AI. Just it's all like everything's AI on it, and
yeah,
Yeah, the robot
sometimes,
voice.
but like but there's ones that don't sound like a robot. That I'm like this.
no,
I don't realize it is,
unreal.
but then they'll say something like
weird that just doesn't make sense.
yeah,
And
like
you're
something
oh,
like
wow,
like
that's AI.
yeah, like something about like dangerous. I don't know
The
exactly.
way it tries to say it too, the way it words it is just like that's not a sentence.
It'll be just like some sort of weird terminology. It would be like 2000 years, instead of
Yeah,
saying like the year
exactly.
2000, they'll be like the year 200. Like there'll be some weird little thing. You're like,
like,
holy fuck, is this whole thing been
Yeah,
like a weird
yeah.
pronunciation of
Yeah, but-
something.
okay, but-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something that's just like wrong.
Look at Elon Musk robots, man. They got their own personalities, their own
I-
individual personality, right? It's kind of out there now.
Call me a Luddite, but
Luddite.
I'm not in on it. It misses the soul. It misses the soul of like actually the human
It's
being
the stories out there.
starts strumming the bass guitar or hitting the drum.
But it's not the
You
AI
can't
in
repeat
it.
that.
It doesn't have the soul that you as an artist
Yeah.
is putting into the
Yeah.
performing and doing that music. AI doesn't have that same touch to it.
But could it in the near future? Because I mean, technology is advancing exponentially fast, right? Like you're getting
If they
within a
learn how
year,
to have
things are
emotion
changing
in a
so
computer,
drastically.
maybe. If
You
they
take
even
out
with-
the human. You take out the human.
yeah.
100%. Even with quantization and some swing, in your music, you're making electronic. It still doesn't sound the same.
That's Goldie. Goldie was the first person, one of the first persons with Ant Miles to use the time stretch technique, which is very integral to liquid, liquid, or not so much the harder drum and bass and jungle, but the liquid sound.
For sure. Like 90s intelligent.
Yeah, it's still being used by producers in the know, such as Scar and the Metalheads crew.
What do you mean by time stretch? Like, how does it work? Like, you're just saying, like,
It's on a synthesizer. It before a certain date, nobody was making a certain sound.
yeah.
I'm trying to explain this to somebody who isn't 10 years deep into drum and bass, and we all know the lingo. I'm trying to explain this. It was a stretch of a sound.
Everything was mostly samples back in
Yeah,
the day,
Mhm.
yeah.
right?
Well,
So you would take the sample and you can stretch it out to
Yeah.
make it so much longer.
okay,
You
but
can
perhaps
just-
you
can
know
get
more
interesting
about
artifacts out of those stretched up sounds.
right, Goldie's track Terminator, which was one of the original drum and bass tracks. Again, look it up. Goldie Terminator would have been on Metalheads. That's one of the first uses of that technique. And babble stoned on the podcast.
Let's talk a little bit about real economy that we live in.
Oh.
And I feel like this is something a lot of people don't really realize. But if you get into like entrepreneurship and you start watching videos about business and how all that stuff, figure out that we don't live in a money economy. We really live in an attention economy, and money really follows attention.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about how do you get attention on you for bookings, music, whatever you're doing essentially, and what makes you stand out as an artist.
Still figuring that out, honestly.
I'm really bad for that. I know that I should be doing a lot of things, but it's kind of like you're saying, where it's just like, I don't know, social anxiety or like self doubt or just like whatever limiting factor I'm giving myself. But there's definitely a ton more promo that I could
there's
be doing
always
when I'm
so
not.
much more that you can do. And another issue that like a lot of us face, especially those of us who are working or are in school, is just like the time.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You have
You can always make
to
time.
produce something.
I get it, but at the same time, it's
Tony,
like
And especially
There's
with
always
time.
everything that we have to do as artists now, because it's not just about the music anymore. You have to be your own promoter, you have to be your own manager, you have to be your own content creator.
You have to learn
Yeah.
how to make time
It's
for
to the
yourself
point where you're
to do it.
spending more of your time making videos for TikTok than you actually have time to work on music.
Well,
Because
not
when you're
yeah.
not making TikTok videos, you're doing promotion. When you're not doing promotion, you're marketing and you're trying to set things up with other people. And then
Yeah.
when you're not doing all of that stuff, you're working your day job, or you're going to school, or you're sleeping, or you're doing family obligations. And then at the end of the day, it just gets to, I haven't produced anything in a month.
like Tyler was saying, the goal is eventually, I think for most of us, is to make it a job. So you have
Yeah,
to
exactly.
go do a 9 to 5, right? This is your 9 to 5.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah,
But
it's like it is tough because what you're saying is so true. It's like I'm kind of hard on myself because I feel like I don't want to make excuses. It's like, well, just do it. I have a 9 to 5. Yeah, I have to do that. Yeah, but it's like,
But do it at your own pace.
yeah,
You
but
don't
then
wanna
that's
jump
yeah.
head first into it all at once, because then you just burn yourself out immediately.
It's finding a balance. It's been my observation, professional end of it, not just rave world, is most artists that you see on TV at some point have a day job. The guys from the Tragically Hip, I hate to break it to you, they're not living in a castle in Los Angeles. They're working day jobs. Okay?
Yeah, even big artists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them work
and,
day
uh,
jobs.
But professional sports, a lot of these guys have daytime jobs.
Yeah, you have to find a balance. I'm lucky that I've found work in the arts and pretty much live in the world of entertainment. It's glorious, but it took the struggle and the heartbreaks and the hardship to get here. And thanks to my mom and other things that have allowed me to keep going. Yeah.
Myself, I mean, well, I think we're going to touch a little bit more about this a little later here, but being trans is kind of something that's a love-hate thing. And, I think a lot of people are kind of on the fence about it, but the scene opens up. It's changed a lot of people's lives. Uh, you know, it helps get attention, I guess, but sometimes it's not really the right kind of attention. And no publicity is bad publicity, but sometimes I feel like it's a problem for a lot of people. Same time, again, it's kind of you're different, you stand out in a different way, and
Because this scene does attract a lot of weird people. A lot of them are good weird people, but at the same time,
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad weird people too.
Yeah,
bad weird people.
yeah, that's for sure.
It's pretty much my belief is you can be anywhere on a spectrum. Most of the people I know are autistic on some form of deviance or kink, including transgenderism, etc., etc. Some of us I may do cam work as other people, but it shouldn't be an issue. We get together on the dance floor to get together. It doesn't matter what's between my legs.
100%.
And
like
that
the
has become an
facts they
issue is it saddens me. Saddens me. I thought we were better than that. We should be working on global hunger and inequality, and not worried.
Any of that like stupid superficial bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
what gender are you? Why does it matter?
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't affect you at all.
Exactly.
What I call myself.
As long as it's consent, legal age, and no animals.
Sure, and that's what a lot of a lot of this LGBTQ, in my opinion, I call it nonsense because they're trying to get kids involved in a lot of it, and it's like so vehement in your face about it. Like you don't. And I don't consider myself as part of part of that umbrella really, but they're in your face about it too much. Like a lot of time you don't need to be reading these books to kids. Why are you reading this shit to kids?
But believe me, darling, the drag queens are not interested in your children. That's the least thing. That's the least thing. It's
Or
the drag performers that I know, some of them intimately, they're artists. They're not out there to convert your children. That's not their interest at all. It's
I think
to
you should more worry about Disney doing that with
yeah,
their shit going on there.
Oh,
You
that's
should
for
be
sure.
worried about Disney and Fox News and CNN and the people that are feeding you that information about those people that you're supposed to fear. Fascism, one of the techniques that a fascist government use is to make you fear the people next door or a marginalized group.
100%. But I mean, it also goes into the side of things where a lot of these kids who are too young to be being put on puberty blockers or have surgeries or things that'll permanently modify their body
Oh no,
are
no,
being
no,
kind of put into that by their
no.
parents as well. Like kids shouldn't be involved in this at all. If you're 18 and you want to do these modifications to your body, then fine, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of these parents are kind of living through their kid. They wish they had, the opposite gender or
Yeah,
whatever. They're
yeah,
putting
yeah.
their kids in
I
a
would-
position, and then
I got
look
a
at Jazz
they
Jennings,
think
for
they're
example.
I got a
doing what's
nephew like
best
Not a
that.
good
for their
situation.
I have a
right?
nephew like that
And that
where
isn't
the
always the
grandmother had
case.
custody and wanted a grandson, not a granddaughter. And that's the way that he got raised, and then was put on the hormonal changes and everything to do that behind the scenes that nobody knew what was going on. So I personally have seen that myself and within my own family of friends, and I think it's a shame, right? So I mean, they should be able to. I've seen parents do that myself, like that's what I was saying with that, and I don't think it's right. Parents should be able to do that. Kids come out, and if they don't feel right that this isn't them or who they are, then they should be able to identify that with themselves. Right?
And
Parents shouldn't have that influence.
we've got to make
And
the young.
kids should be able to like do the non-permanent things. You know, let
100%.
let
100%.
let little Billy
Experimentation,
call
that's how
himself Jamie and wear a
that's how a
dress.
human learns.
It's
Go
not
on
a
it.
permanent thing. It could be a phase, and that's fine.
Yeah.
If it's not, then at least the kid's not being pushed down and told that they're wrong.
You know,
For just
my
being
brother came
himself.
out of the closet when he turned 18. Before that, he knew he was different, but it made him a worse person. He was mean all the time because he knew he was different. Something
It was
wasn't right.
because he was lying to himself.
That's right. And then once he finally came out of the closet, he became a way different person. And I actually enjoy going out and having fun with my brother now. Right?
If I want to wear a cocktail dress, and it makes me feel better, so be it.
So yeah.
If I'm
So on
doing
you.
this behind my closed doors,
Who are you hurting?
Yeah.
I'm not hurting you.
No.
Actually, it's better that I'm doing that because it's distracting me from the idiocy of a person who's worried about what I'm doing.
Right?
People should mind their business.
Yeah,
If
100%.
it's shared with you what a person's proclivity is, that's their right to share it with you. It's not for the rest of the world to know. You don't have to go advertise it. That breaks
100%.
privacy, and but let's bring up the concept of plur. It's a phrase that's
Yeah.
thrown around our scene,
Yes.
which represents peace, love, unity, and respect.
That's right.
And the biggest part about respect is respecting yourself and who you feel you are as a person.
That's why
Whether I want to wear eyeliner or not, that's my own choice, right?
100%. And if you're a good person, nothing else really matters. You know what I mean?
And you can also be a right-wing Nazi asshole. That's your choice, but please do it over there.
Right?
Go listen to your country music and drink your bad beer over there, please.
Plur is definitely one of the things that is kind of one of our core values at Alberta Mountain Pirates. We try to make a safe, welcoming environment and unity. It's all about the love. We spread love, and there's no really borders. Again, we take all kinds of music. We take new artists who've been around a while. It doesn't matter. We're not trying to be like, oh, because you have this better social media or whatever it is. That's why we're bringing you on. None of that matters, right? If you're about the music, show up. That's what we want. We want people who are there for the music and for the community, right?
Well, even us as about mountain pirates, we have a very diverse of who we are in different communities, like personal lives. Like we have
100%.
we have everybody here from rednecks to introverts, right?
Yeah.
Was rated up on our top pirates. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're very diverse
It's been
community
fun playing the last couple of shows for you guys and the people from other parts of my life who have popped through those parties and been like, I've been in the middle of DJ, and one of my cousins from Red Deer's standing there who I haven't seen in 2 years, and like want to super talk to her. But by the time the set's done, because they were just driving through, right?
Yeah.
People from work, shout outs to Colin who showed up to the last party, and me and brother Shane, brother Shane, who was usually my drive for the last year. We can't wait. It's a good outlet for us. Gets us out of the city.
Get to let loose and really let your
Yeah.
Always exciting to get out there to begin with. Never mind, the lights and the lasers and bass, right?
It is.
Can't
It
do
is
that
just
stuff
like
in the city.
a
You can
visual
save what we
treat.
did last night, but pretty rare occurrence when you can set that stuff up.
You get noise
society.
complaints and fines from the city because
Yeah.
playing bass too loud in your basement.
Unless the city's paying you to do it, and we love it.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing is there is a lack of venues right now in Calgary. We're talking about promoting ourselves. I want to shout out to Miss Angela Payne Talent Agency, who are taking some of us under her wing. There's a lack of venues who want our music, whether it be hardstyle or drum and bass or jungle or even house music. They're afraid of it, and some of them don't even consider it to be real music. I'm
It's
sorry.
not that. It's just that they don't make as much money. Because if you go to it, there's like a stereotype that everybody's just gonna not buy any drinks, but it is pretty damn true. Like you go if you have a country show, you're gonna sell so many more beers. And it's just what it is. And so that's just what the bars don't care about that. What it is, they just want to make money.
Yeah.
If EDM made money, they would fucking play it. It doesn't have anything to do with personal preference or hate. I mean, a bit, I'm sure, but it comes down to the bottom line. If drum and bass made them fucking money, have drum and bass wherever you want it.
Oh yeah, because you gotta spend. It's gonna cost $2,000 for the bar staff for a full bar on an evening.
Yeah.
A small club.
Yeah.
Then you need the liquor sales. And if you have a headliner, that headliner would cost.
Yeah.
Plus flight, plus hotel.
And if you don't have a headliner and it's a local crew, then if only local people, like if only like a few friends show up, now that's when it becomes tough. Is because like find a lot of there's a lot of different little promoter groups in Calgary, like kind of friends, and then they all invite their friends, but it's hard to get all those people together and to go to one thing. It's like you tend to just go to things
This is
that
the
you
thing where
know,
all of the friends are.
or like it's like, oh well, my buddy's DJing and I'll go to support him or whatever it is, but it's like you won't just go support your buddy's buddy because you're like, well, I don't know.
And big shout outs
And
to
we're all guilty of it as well. Like
And-
it's
and,
like
uh,
when's the last like how many shows have you been to? Like, you know, like
yeah, and big shout outs to 403 DMB
yeah.
and DJ Fever and the Fright Night crew and Run It Productions. Even shout outs to Philly and the Filthy City crew. They've all held it down well in the city. But they have all been a big part of the
Yeah.
development of the scene that we have and that we're lucky to go all play in right now. Even, yeah, big shout outs to all this crew and PK Sound, Tumbala, even though I've never been and probably never go.
Yeah, no, I agree on that there.
I prefer the smaller anarchist festivals.
Kind of hard to go to
The high dollar, yeah.
If I'm gonna pay that much to go to a festival, I'm gonna go to DEFCON 1.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
You know, on our aspects, kind of hard to go to the festivals when we're throwing our own. So
Especially when we're doing back-to-back shows, it's hard to pack everything up to go to a festival to set up for 2
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
logistics doesn't make a lot of sense. But logistics, if you could do logistics better than the next crew, then you win every time because logistics is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
no, I think we're getting it figured out.
Totally, for sure.
Yeah,
You know, for sure.
Just takes
You
time
know,
and
logistics
practice,
is
you
a
know.
nightmare.
People make their whole careers doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Ubbo, you've been around a long time. I mean, how's the scene changed over the years? What's the main things you've seen that have been like really pinnacle turning points in that? Where do you see the scene heading over the next decade?
Well, it's heading to stadium shows. I will be going to raves at the Saddle Dome once the new buildings open. There'll be a few big raves in that Saddle Dome. Right now in Europe and London, like England, what was it? Jason Status did 45,000 people at Milton Keynes.
I know I watched that show
Yeah,
the other
like
night. Holy
that's
crap.
that's the future of drum and bass. Big shout outs to those boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. The scene, it's just going to continue to grow, and I'm glad that the mainstream's sort of getting on board. I love going out to shows like Manu. I went to Manu at the Commonwealth. A lot of mainstream people are getting into it, and it's fun.
Even
And it's fun.
that "Blinded by the Light" song by The Weeknd, I'm like, this is drum and bass.
Yeah.
It's literally, and then I mix it in with because it's the exact same tempo. And I remember I first heard it, I was like, it's a pop song, but this is drum and bass. Like this is a straight up drum bass song. It's just
literally
pop.
heard one on the radio the other day. It was terrible and watered down, but I'm like, this is pop drum and bass.
Yeah.
Literally.
But then you put you mix it in a little bit.
Well,
and you just
that's
keep the
what-
vocals, put a heavy bass line, and there we go.
That's
100%.
why we
Give
don't
them
have
gas.
Pendulum anymore. They got better offer to write pop music.
Yeah.
All those
No,
boys,
no
DJ,
kidding,
yeah.
eh? Well, damn, that's crazy. I know I've been around a while. I think the scene changed quite a bit in a way. Like
I never really
it went
met.
from dubstep, which when I got into the scene, like 2008.
Yeah, that was like the big player for a long time.
Yeah.
You would go to a
dubstep.
show and it was just dubstep.
Yeah.
The odd drum and bass tune.
Oh,
people would throw here,
I
like,
was
I've
working.
It was
definitely
like
noticed that
dubstep.
like drum and bass is starting to get way more popular. Even like hardcore and techno is starting to grow
Yeah.
here.
Even in house sets, they'll play drum bass songs, and artists are making songs that have like first bar, like the first half will be house, and then the second half will be drum bass.
Trap
Same
or
with the other way
whatever.
around, so you can like
Like-
mix them easier. You can flip through them without having, yeah.
Even just in the case of, I've been going to Palace pretty regularly for the last few years, pretty much since everything opened up after COVID. And when I first started going back in like 21, 22, it was mostly dubstep shows, a little bit of house, a little bit of drum and bass. We got one or two hardstyle artists a year.
Yeah.
Didn't even hear any techno.
Yeah.
And now I can't remember the last time I've been to a dubstep show
Yeah.
at Palace because it's all
Hard
drum and
style.
bass.
Yeah. Hard.
We've
Yeah.
gotten a lot of hardstyle recently. Gotten some techno. We got some
Yeah.
house. It hasn't been a lot of dubstep lately.
I think
So
it's just-
I'm
yeah.
really noticing that the scene is starting to shift
Well, I think it was Bass
into-
Nectar and Skrillex just blew it up, and then it just kind of became diluted.
and especially
just kinda
after
just started
all of the
decreasing
stuff
in
about
quality.
Bass Nectar
Like there
came
is still
out,
good
I think
dubstep,
a
but
lot of people kind of left that subsection of the scene because of all of the stuff coming out about
yeah,
Nectar
that's
and
sick.
Dadsick, and a lot of
There
these
was
other
like
big
6 or
players
8.
in the dubstep.
Well, and those were
Yeah.
bad. Like those stories were bad. Like Bass Nectar's was weird. Dadsick's was bad.
There was a few
And
other
then
ones
there's
too.
and there's I think
I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
but yeah,
there
it
was
definitely
a bunch.
did kind of like put a damper on the scene. Yeah, but I think it just became robot chainsaw noises, and it became
Agreed.
Yeah,
and then
no,
like
a lot
there
of
was
it
still
became
good
very
dubstep
much
that was made,
the
but like
same.
it just kind of became that just bro steppy, and
The
that's
deep
Yeah.
dubstep is like more traditional
yeah,
dubstep, and it's
that's
getting
what
really
it's going,
creative
and it's getting
nowadays,
back
too.
to that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Super
it's
wobbly stuff and just
Yeah.
nice clean
and
minimal.
that'll
like-
probably come back now, and then drum bass go down, and then house is just always going to be just like at the
Well, bass
doing
music
what it's
is
doing,
bass
but-
music.
A lot
Yeah.
of complaints that I've heard from dubstep people about dubstep music and DJs is that a lot of the newer music coming out just all sounds the same. It's all the
yeah,
same
well, especially
pattern.
rhythm.
It's the same
Rhythm
notes.
is I like you can
and
have
there's no variation. It's all brick wall. There's no
Yeah.
dynamic
Yeah.
differences in anything.
All
So they're
sounds
just
like a
kind of
hazard
getting
truck.
bored of it too, I think.
Yeah.
And so they're migrating from dubstep to drum and bass because it's something new and because it is such a vast,
So
genre.
diverse. Yeah.
So diverse, so many different styles and sounds and speeds.
Well, no, the
new
dubstep
and
was
exciting.
the American market getting onto bass music,
Yeah.
and naturally they're going to go to bigger brother because jungle is the top musical form. Well, yeah, it's the American market maturing into real music. I hate to say it. Jungle and drum and bass is the
We're
big
like,
brother.
what, 15, 20 years behind the UK's peak? Like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
UK's been doing this for 30 years or whatever, right? Then started getting popular there. And then
Well, okay, yeah,
dubstep got
super
really
popular
popular,
over
you know?
there.
But and then you go back to the 70s. Dubstep and jungle and drum and bass all comes out of dub and reggae.
Yeah.
And like I'm not talking dubstep, I'm talking like dub reggae,
Dub
like
reggae, yeah, 100%.
yeah.
I get into that for sure. It's some good stuff.
Oh yeah, we might get a set of it next year on
Dang.
vinyl.
Hanging.
But I got lots cooking for next. Lots of sets. I just set up my dream studio at a new house with an upgrade and some gear, and spend the winter working in the lab on new.
Banging. I feel that for sure. The time for creativity is not in the summer when you're doing back to back shows.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all of the big artists just like spend all winter making music and then they release it throughout the summer
Yeah.
because they're in the air 90% of the time.
Yeah. So what are some common misconceptions that new artists may have about the scene, and how do you think we counter those common misconceptions?
I've seen a lot of people come and go because, especially like artists who are trying to get in, I see a lot show up and make the music and put it out, and they don't get the results, and then they leave because like this isn't working. And
well,
one
then
thing
they
that
were never meant to be there.
I've seen
in my
a few-
opinion.
a lot of
I've seen a few get
a lot of
humbled there in
people
the
still
summer pretty
think
good.
we're in the time where you can easily blow up from posting a thing on SoundCloud and then it just randomly getting a lot of views. That's not how it goes anymore.
The market's saturated.
It is very saturated, and virality is not sustainable. And I know this personally as someone who has had a viral video, not as a musician, as something else, but I had a viral video, and you know what that translated into for longevity? Nothing. I gained like several thousand followers. Nobody watched the other videos that I put out. Nobody cared. And now that account is more dead than it was before the viral video came out. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not a tool that you can reliably use for success anymore. And a lot of people don't realize how long of a game this is.
Never giving up, like I always mention.
Yeah, so it took me 20 years to get on CJSW. I was on the May 17th episode of the wonderful Marisha's show, Lotus Queen, Remote Emissions, which is the 11 o'clock drum and bass show. That was the dream for years, was to get on that show and just you'd imagine yourself playing the tracks and to actually go there and do it again in the studio and do a mix. It was you were asking us about highlights of our last year. Well, that was one of them. Shout outs to Marisha Lotus Queen. It was highly rewarding. It wasn't a exploding, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire living in the castle of P Diddy and cocaine and hookers. That's not what I'm doing this for. I'm driven to collect music and play music and play with the equipment. It's what I do for a living. Is working with sound, is working with gear like our mixers and stuff. Is what interests me, and I'm driven to play music. I'm not going to go away. I'll be playing this till my deathbed. I'll be sitting there with my head closed, dropping a drum and bass track to myself. I'm not playing it for anybody else, but it's my outlet. It's my outlet. Feel good.
Yeah,
It makes it.
I kind of agree with that. Where it's like I don't really care what their misconceptions are. 'Cause it's like I'm doing my thing. I'm here for.
Yeah,
I'm not here for what. Like I'm here for the music. Like everything else can be whatever the fuck it is, and you can think about it whatever the fuck you want.
I've seen a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people come and go, and usually it involves either a drug habit or a girlfriend and kids. And it's hard to keep a career up and keep raving when you've got a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old at home. I understand. Not putting that down, but it's hard to keep up. And a lot of people come into the scene for drugs. They think this whole scene is about drugs. No, it's not. It's about late nights and working on mixes in your head as the DJ, and oh, this song sounds like that. Oh, that'll go together when you're fucking hammering or doing something at work.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about, and it's making it giving a cohesive package to your sets, like not just pressing play on songs.
Yeah.
Thinking what you're gonna play, and oh, Liz will be at the show. She liked that track, so I'll play it, etc., etc. Right?
Yeah.
So, but I'll play me and Jeff's music all day, but it's masturbational.
Yeah, like it took me 2 years of networking to land this show at the Palace in January.
Oh, I can't imagine getting to know people in the scene. I'm a local here, so like I was here when they through the first rave. I was the second guy through the door, but I can't imagine getting outsiders coming here.
One of the common misconceptions that we've heard from, I think I kind of touched on this earlier. It might have been last week too, but people coming in and going, "This is nothing like the rock and metal and country concerts
Well, no, it's not
that I
the
was
thing.
expecting. Like a whole different vibe what we're doing, and it's cool to see people who older or maybe not so much into the scene, have no experience with it, come out and like I said, it's free for all there. You got everyone coming in, rednecks who maybe aren't used to people in squirrel suits, for example, which I think is hilarious, right? It's just a cool perspective on that.
Purple elephant onesies running around. You're going, what the hell is this?
Well, no, we're supposed to be able to. We're at the pirate parties on McLean Creek. I think it's you get all wound up all season. You can't really let loose. You can't go on a 6-day fucking drug bender with your fucking with your not so good friends. It's an outlet for a lot of people. You spend the season working, blah blah blah. You do it. You do your hard work, and then go have your outlet. And you can
Lots of sleepless
go
nights.
out to the middle of nowhere and let your yayas out, right? Get your rock and roll on in a safe environment with supportive people.
Yeah. And reach out, right? A lot of people are we're all in this for the community too.
That's the big thing is the Alberta Mountain Pirates is a community of people. from
Big
all the
community.
DJs, all the boyfriends and the girlfriends and the husbands and wives, and children and grown children, some of them. Everybody is doing their thing. We show up at when the events are going on, and as an artist, we show up and do our thing. I when I'm there and my buddies are there, we all work in the industry, so we're helping out the people who are running the show, moving gears, putting up lights. So this needs done, right?
100%. It
Everybody's pitching in during the day,
takes a
right?
village
A
for
lot of
sure.
work.
Yeah,
It really is. That's
It
it.
is,
Everybody
yeah.
needs to work together. Like I say, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes community to keep the rave going.
100%.
And that's part of the magic of it. When you go to the big organized events, there's sort of fences and walls,
Yeah,
and
a lot of red tape
I
too.
need to, when my definition of raving is letting all your walls down, just being you,
Yeah,
being not the walls that you have to put up because of the neighbor or the husband or the wife who isn't who you thought they were, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. We can all go let loose out there. And the people who come and see us who are not part of the group that's putting it on, we're the show. The Alberta Mountain Pirates are a big. All of us in a field dancing is a pretty interesting thing.
sure is. And like I said, it surprises people of all different kinds. You got people coming through at night, see this crazy thing happening. They're like, "What the fuck is that?" They roll in a 4x4, and now they're part of the party. Often people are just like, "Well, I guess we're drinking all the beer here for tonight or
I've got
whatever."
a couple buddies from work do that, loggers that I work with, and all of a sudden they come rolling up with their 4x4s, and I know I do 4x4 with them, and they're rolling up, and they're like, "What the hell are you guys doing? What the heck?" The look on their face, next thing you know, they're sticking around for a few hours having fun and passing word out there themselves,
Yeah,
And
what it's
and
about, for
everybody's
sure.
welcome, and I think that's
Yeah,
like you just happen to stumble upon the
Yeah,
festival.
we like having a circus out there.
You're not
It's
gonna be
fun.
sent away because nobody knows you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And you're not gonna. The
but
thing
if
that's
you
really cool with it is, like,
cause
all ages as
problems
well.
or you're lecherous
Yeah,
or you're not minding your P's and Q's,
it is. Yeah, there's.
That's a different story. Yeah,
we are in Alberta.
yeah,
There have been a
exactly.
few
Yeah.
troubled people, but
And they're dealt with pretty quick. A few incidents.
That's the thing. The weight, that's a bonus to having it a hard to access location like that, because like you're really not going to get a lot of the riffraff that is a general problem at easy to access events, right?
Yeah,
People are
right,
like,
yeah.
no, fuck that. I want to cause trouble, not actually go for the music.
And then when
People
they
that
do
go
come
for the
out,
music are like, yeah, fuck, it sucks. We got stuck and pulled out and whatever, but we're here.
But part of ravings, it comes out of it's an anarchist movement. Oh, I use the big word of punk rockers and disenfranchised people getting together in fields and to communicate and like the Celts did and all the pre-Christian Roman societies did in fields in England. Fucking get together and go camping with your friends, right? Go play some loud music. I can't play the music as loud as I want to at home. The Alberta Mountain Pirates are asking me to turn it up louder, right?
I would like to do it. To do it.
go hard or go home, right?
For sure, yeah.
I know. We sure rocked a few townhouses and condos last night.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Condos,
Morning
right,
Jungle on Monday. That was so much fun on
Right.
Derek's system. I couldn't have. I wish I could have heard the set that I played. I don't have a copy of any of that. We did release one part of one set from that morning, but some of that I was playing on vinyl that morning. I wish I could have heard it. Thanks to all those people that were there. I didn't know anybody that I was playing for. I do know them now, but previous to the Mountain Pirates, the group that I played for, it wasn't sort of Calgary locals, and it was nice to let loose. A lot of that, there's a lot of misconceptions about some people and the way they used to act for recovery and personal growth, you become other people, and sometimes it's held against you in a scene. People are allowed to grow and change.
100%. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Human nature.
People
Oh, yeah.
that don't, it's kind of like, wow, that person never grew up. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's the high school
I'm not
people
naming
that-
names, but
They still in high school, yeah.
yeah. Like grow up.
Yeah.
But we're supposed to be living times of personal growth and change. Where that's what the book W.H. Smith is telling me, standing in the lineup, right?
I want to touch back on we were talking a little bit about being trans, and obviously you're trans as well, which is pretty sweet. I had no idea, like, when I met you until you told me, like, I had met you several times, and it worked really well for you and stuff. But do you find trans, or being trans, the experience yourself has been a benefit in the scene, or has it been negative, or has it been kind of indifferent? Have you noticed it done anything good or bad for your career, or has it caused you a problem directly with, maybe one of the rednecks that we're talking about type of thing? Like,
Honestly, no, I haven't really had nothing different really.
Nice.
Sorry, my brain is
that's pretty cool.
my brain is buffering right now.
Oh, good.
Well, if we're supposed
That's pretty
to,
cool.
in dance cultural, welcome everyone
For sure. Again, going
and
back to
allow
core,
them
right?
to be comfortable within themselves, just to be who they see themselves at. Not necessarily, it's not for what you see them as; it's what they see them as.
Yeah, for sure.
Cracking the egg, right?
100%. And festivaling is, especially going to big festivals when you're young, like a lot of us did end up at Shambhala, back in the day before rules were different. You had to be 19 or whatever, right? Really opens your mind up to like, wow, this exists. People can just be like this. Like, this is okay, like kind of a culture shock.
And the natives in certain native cultures, they have considered themselves to have 26 different variations of gender. Oh, why does it matter who that person wants to be as long as they're happy? It's not about the person saying it, it's about the person doing it and who they feel they are.
Let's say this thing we've always been brought up and taught to be who we are and be who we think we should be and everything. And as soon as you probably express yourselves, and then all some people are going, well, this is what I was taught to do. I was taught to be myself and express who I am. And now you're shaming me for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like be yourself, but not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
People
Like, well,
go
what
through
do you
their
want
whole
me to do
life
then?
Yeah.
portraying one thing and feeling that they're the other, and they try and kill themselves with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, takes a factor on a lot of people.
This cool, my buddy who's not the type of person to see it or that type of media told me about it, but it's actually called Will and Harper, and it's Will Ferrell and this guy from one of the Saturday Night Live writers or whatever. And they go on this big tour after Harper comes out as trans, and he's like 63 or something. So like it's kind of an interesting story to hear, and it because they're both from Saturday Night Live, they're well spoken, they're actors, what have you. The eloquence in the explanations of like the experience is really, really interesting and in depth, right? A simple sentence can be so impactful when worded correctly. So definitely something I recommend if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Definitely watch it. It's a pretty cool story, and it'll help teach some people a little bit different thinking, maybe.
Don't worry, you can't catch gender dysphoria.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I,
Exactly.
the person next to you, I'm not going to catch it. Oh my!
That's hilarious.
It is not contagious.
I'll be at home with my own set of tits on. You think I'm joking?
Well, Marilyn Manson did it himself, so.
They
I
can
think
order
there's
them
a
all.
few
You
other
can order
reasons
your own
behind
set
that
off
one.
of Amazon right to your door. Whatever makes you happy behind closed doors, as long as you're not harming anybody. Most of them come willingly.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Life is pretty strange. Like you said, live and let live. Libertarian mindset is kind of cool if you think.
Yeah. And a lot of people are using those words such as liberal, socialist, and
They don't know what it
what
means.
it means. they've been fed lies by the
Mainstream.
majority,
By mainstream.
mainstream media. So it was really funny when I did the CGSW show. I couldn't post that show because of modern Canadian media laws, because then it became, because I was on the radio, I couldn't repost my podcast. I had to go do it underhanded on SoundCloud, and I didn't get it even bit, wasn't able to put up a proper copy. Isn't that strange things in the laws right now? But I couldn't post that wonderful show I did on CGSW back on the internet for everybody to listen, post the show, because I'm not expecting you all to be up at midnight or some strange time when we broadcast, right?
We gotta thank Daddy Trudeau for that one.
Well, it's just like getting a 30-day ban on Facebook for sharing something on Facebook that you found on Facebook, right?
It's you know what? It's the people behind him and the governments behind him that set up such laws that the Liberals just inherited a bad book and are mismanaging that bad book even worse. So we were all in the hole when we had Harper and Mulroney. Those are the guys who fucking robbed your land. Sold us out to big business, right? But my liberal politics. Oh, I said the awful word.
Yeah,
The liberals right now are not true liberals.
No, that's one of the big issues. Is
Well, they're radical.
we have essentially like two right parties.
They're
You've got
too
the
right wing, yeah.
liberals that are kind of right wing, and then the
Chasing their own tail.
conservatives that are far right wing.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got the NDP who are trying to do sort of the liberal thing, and they're not really getting very far because everyone hates the liberals so much they won't even give the NDP.
Did you hear about Trudeau's tax break? He's taking the tax off of things that aren't even taxed, and like it's so minuscule. I think he said it's a $250 check they're giving to all working Canadians because he's fishing for votes now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
that's hilarious.
Give me all my serve rebates in one shot again.
You know, like
taking
Danielle
taxes off
Smith
and beer and
is adding
beer
extra
and liquor
taxes
and
to shit
everything.
because she
A
can't.
couple
Groceries
things, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
And because people will just blame Trudeau for it, so Danielle Smith is getting away with adding extra taxes to stuff because
Yeah.
everyone will just blame Trudeau.
Let's get off of politics, guys. Let's go
Yeah.
back to raving.
Well, that's pretty much where we're at. That's why we're kind of letting it flow where it goes. So that's
there
main
is
talking points we have for
inherently a
tonight.
political side to just as there is in the metal
Well, it is
scene,
because
just
when
as
it comes
there
down
is
to permits in the different counties.
in the punk scene, there is an inherently political side to the rave scene.
Well, it is
And I
because
think it would be doing it a disjustice to just wipe that under the rug and
I
ignore
agree.
it.
I want to just give a quick shout out. We have a laughy emoji from a few minutes ago, and Kirk saying basically 0 days 2025, let your yayas out. So hell yeah, we're definitely gonna try to make that happen.
Well, I
and,
think
0
Julian
days
does a
was
good job.
fantastic.
of that.
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah,
I cannot wait for the next 0 days.
can't wait for the next outdoor party in the woods. I mean, we're only getting into winter here, So.
Yeah, winter.
Yeah,
sucks.
you ain't getting me out there in the snow unless we go like hermetically seal me and then give me a warm spot to go afterwards. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
do wet.
you wouldn't catch me out in the minus 40.
Dude, just put on a
those of
fucking
you
jacket
guys
and
who are
pants, man.
into that,
I
more
go to
power
a winter
to
raid
you.
for sure. I
I
go to
hate the cold.
snowboarding.
Trust me.
I
That's
don't
why we have
have to
wood
be
stoves
outside.
and
I
a
don't have to be
sauna.
You get a bunch of
Yeah,
woofers.
I told you guys this before. It reminds me of being homeless. I don't, and believe me, you don't want to go there.
Yeah, camping. Just that thing where you spend a small fortune to basically
Be
Be
homeless.
uncomfortable.
It is a weird world we live in.
Hey, you gotta connect with
People
nature.
pay
Yeah, 100%.
Get that
Back
nature
to
back.
the roots,
In
right?
my
to
camping
sleep on the
trailer.
ground like a homeless person for a few
Well,
days.
if the world
Yeah.
keeps going where you're going, you
Connect
better
with-
know how to camp because it might be the
Yeah.
only way to live here.
Right?
Little mommy gnats.
Backpack and a rifle just blast of us. Can only hope. Why didn't we get zombies during the COVID? I wanted zombies.
Right,
It
right.
was so bizarre through my work. I was working on The Last of Us. I can't really talk about it, but it was surreal because we were working on a zombie movie, of the apocalypse. blah blah blah, and I wasn't sure which was real, and this whole thing looked like too much like a good, like the
Yeah,
new Call
no,
of Duty,
no.
right? Exactly, it looks like the new Call of Duty.
Getting kind of crazy where graphic, everything from Unreal Engine 5 is just crazy.
Yeah.
Some of it's almost indistinguishable from reality. I mean, if you played that game Ready or Not, it's bananas. A lot of media coming out. What did we watch the other day? It's called Love, Death, and Robots, and
Yeah.
there's some
Oh, yeah.
animations.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
that one.
bananas.
That's just beautiful, just beautiful.
Yeah, very crazy, and some pretty cool stories in that. And then we also saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm pretty sure there is some Unreal Engine 5 in there. What's another one? One of the VHS, well, a couple of the VHS horror movies. The newest one, VHS Beyond. There was a whole segment that transitioned from a real actor in a real vehicle to CGI, and you don't notice till later on, and you have to look so close. But like,
The new Marushi, the boy in the blue hair, and just mind blowing. And it looks like it's hand done art, but you know it's done on. But it just, I'm a film on a different level.
yeah,
The same thing where technology is now today to be able to do that. Compared back to just the old IBM computer dot matrix system here, going punching in commands, telling it what to do. Now the damn things are telling you what to do.
I think that's what he was saying before with AI, where it's
Yeah.
like, sure, it doesn't have emotion now,
No,
but when it
yeah,
happens,
yeah.
10,
but-
20,
but
100
they
years
do.
from now,
But
like,
they do
can you
because
develop emotion?
these electronic sex
Wasn't
dolls
there a
do have
movie
emotion.
about that, Sarah?
We were talking
Connor?
about, yeah, like people emotion, like that kind of that thing that makes it, you know?
Yeah.
Didn't they make a movie about that when the computer became sentient?
Yeah,
We already learned from
some-
that one. Things
forget.
go boom. We start over.
Yeah, it goes, it thinks.
well, and you gotta understand too, like with the AI that we have right now, it's not genuine AI, right? It's large language models and machine learning.
Yeah.
So like whatever data set that it's trained off of is what you're gonna get from it. But what happens if they unleash something that can either program itself to get
They're
the
already
whole of the
mandating
wealth of
laws about
information?
it.
You know what I mean?
They're already mandating laws about how far we were actually going to be able to go with AI right now.
And then
into
what's
that church.
ethical exactly?
Yeah, that's right.
Because
They're already implanting these laws in it because Tesla is opening this world for us, right? With all this AI and what can be done. So now they already are implementing the laws and how far it can be stretched because they don't want to have that where now you got your own free-forming thinking, emotional computer.
Get on board with AI learning and crypto right now, or else we're gonna miss the
Right.
fucking. We have to talk about that.
Elon Musk even said it. He thinks everybody should have their own personal robot. Why should you have to lift your finger to go to do an nasty deed? You need the lawn cut. Why should you have to get up and go do it? And you got a personal robot to go do it.
We
For
are
you?
living in time. We were supposed to have like what was it, the Jetsons?
Flying cars already.
Yeah, flying cars and
And now instead
Rosie the robot.
we're
and you know
we
if
were
you want to
supposed
get your
to
own
make
robot,
robots do the work so that we can do the art, and now we're
Yeah.
making robots do the art. so we can do the
100%,
work.
it's got reversed.
Yeah.
You know,
Why are
and
we
we were kind
doing
of
this?
touching on crypto there for a second, but if you want to get your own robot, you know, your little R2D2 servant robot,
Yeah.
definitely buy XRP because that will allow you to get one probably sooner than later. That's all I'm saying. So, not financial advice, by the way.
Well, you never know.
I know they missed out when fucking Trump got elected. Bitcoin and everything all went up.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, everything went
Really, crypto
crazy.
just fucking blew up.
Crazy.
There's a lot of us old people
We're
kicking
gonna make it the
ourselves in the
crypto
ass.
capital of the
We
world.
could have bought
Right.
into Apple or shit really stupid cheap, and now they're
Did he
worth
actually
fucking
say that?
millions, right?
Yeah,
I didn't really see
we're
anything.
gonna make it the crypto.
Right?
Apple ain't
Like,
gonna
the
go
2016
nowhere.
election was so
We've
surreal.
got
I
to
was
talk off
really
camera about
focused on it. I
that.
was
Actually,
watching it like it was my own soap opera, and this year I just missed everything.
You know, don't die us.
Gotta be paying attention. Gotta be.
Oh,
And sometimes it's hard, right? But
how much longer are we gonna go here?
however long you want, we're just we're through the content that we had planned out. Now we're just kind of shooting the ship. So
That's been nice. Looking forward to spring. Got a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, we can't wait. We've already.
I'm looking forward to be done with school so that I can go back to actually making music again. Because midterms are this week, and this is crushing me.
I'm
So no
done.
drugs in the field for you.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
definitely looking
there's no
forward to
field
spring
view.
because
It's
our
covered
after,
in,
after our
yeah,
recent
yeah, yeah.
show, we
Covered in,
learned
like,
some new
3 feet of
challenges that we
snow.
can now
Oh,
bring
yeah.
into our spring season where we're not going to have to deal with weather elements as much anymore.
Yeah, 100%. We leveled up last night.
Yeah,
a
we
little
really
bit,
did level up, and I'm pretty
make a
sure
big
it's going to make
difference.
a whole difference for pirate ship
Yeah,
this
that
year experience for you
Cochrane
artists.
show
Yeah.
is gonna do wonders for you guys, I think.
Well,
not
maybe
just
the
that,
next
but
city event.
to overcome the weather, where last year when they did the shows, the weather, our DJs being cold, this, that, and the other, and here we came up with the idea with the wood stove and a self-stain front, and then a roof over the ship, so we can keep the elements out and keep the artists warm. So we had to overcome a new hurdle there, and now we can go forward next year into this May long weekend, and okay, rain, snow, blizzard, whatever, we can work around this now without the artists freezing their butts off and
Yeah.
DJ gear getting wet, and no,
But that's cellophane.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Operator has been through one of our coldest shows, and he stayed up for an extended time to cover a DJ that didn't show up, and he was like, "Wow, this is the warmest float on the Black Marauder we've ever had."
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, it sure was.
We hit an iceberg, but we stayed warm.
Yeah.
Jer.
Hello.
Love you, Jer.
It sounds like we're gonna wrap this up, and
Yeah,
I
'cause
just
we
want to
just,
give a
That
big.
was
Scorpion
I'm
just
looking
showed
forward
us.
to the springtime. I'm already making plans to show up with a bunch of stuff cooked up, and we're bringing crew. I'm bringing reinforcements this time.
100%.
Yeah, maybe even an afternoon. So different music from some of the artists that you know.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool to grow and just work together, and make an impact. It's really fulfilling. I want to give a big shout out to all you guys for pitching in and showing up and making it a reality. I want to shout out to everybody watching tonight, and who's going to watch us in the future. We're having a blast doing this. We're growing. We're learning every day, every time we do something, and we're going to keep
And remember,
doing this.
if you're having,
We want to give.
yeah.
Yeah, anytime, guys. I mean, 100%, 100%. Appreciate that.
And remember, if you're having problems, reach out. Talk to an adult. Talk to a trusted friend. Go to an AA meeting. Don't sit in your house and not communicate.
Don't be embarrassed or shy because what they might think of you.
Because some of us have been through it. Through it.
Yeah, I'll guarantee that a few of us have been through it. Reached out and had people help us out. So
Come out stronger on the other side.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Stronger, better, wiser.
Oh.
Better, faster, stronger, harder. If you're Daft Punk, right?
till next time.
Yeah, appreciate you all. Peace and love, and definitely stay tuned. Next weekend, we're going to be doing a live stream. So we got a few DJs coming in. That's going to be sweet, and going to keep alternating. And maybe sooner than later, we'll be doing a stream on the Saturday, and then we'll do the podcast on the Sunday, and just getting people in to hear their stories and kind of build up what we're doing. So
Yep, vinyl live stream coming out of me and Kaylee coming up here.
yeah, we'll make
right
something
away.
happen.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Right. Well, anything else? Final remarks, folks?
Love, conserve water, and stay away from those sourdough donuts at Crystal. White Castle if you're up north.
Not
All
Merry
right.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, for sure. Happy holidays to everybody as the
Very good
season gears up.
Very good choice.
Yeah, Merry Grinchmas from our resident Grinch.
20th of December, Eirror, Palace Theater.
Got the Jungle Cake show on the 20th, unfortunately. Be indisposed with that.
Yeah.
Ed Solo, Benny Page, and
Are you going?
Decline. Yeah, I'm fuck yeah.
Fucking, I don't have anybody to go with.
Oh, there's a bunch of us going, yo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
You there, folks, if you're
actually
gonna
play
be
a
at that
lot of
show.
them.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be banging for sure. Yeah.
I guess
All right.
I gotta get tickets
Peace.
to that.
Hey, get your tickets. I mean, before they sell out. I know they were selling pretty quick. So take care, everybody. We're gonna catch you all in the next one.
Night.